February 1932, the Choate School, Wallingford, Connecticut. Dear Mother, it is the night before exams, so I will write you Wednesday. Lots of love. P.S. Can I be godfather to the baby? From the moment he entered Choate, Kennedy found himself both academically and socially in the shadow of his brother Joe, who was 2 years ahead of him. Except for in history and English, his grades were mediocre at best, and as a letter from his housemaster to his parents indicates, he had other shortcomings as well. The Choate School, report of John F. Kennedy, in his house for the fourth quarter. I'd like to take the responsibility for Jack's constant lack of neatness about his room and person since he lived with me for 2 years. But in the matter of neatness, despite a genuine effort on Jack's part, I must confess to failure. Occasionally, we did manage to effect a house cleaning, but it necessitated my dumping everything in the room into a pile in the middle of the floor. Jack's room has throughout the year been subject to instant and unannounced inspection. It was the only way to maintain a semblance of neatness, for Jack's room was a club for his friends. I regard the matter of neatness, or lack of it on Jack's part, as quite symbolic, aside from the value, if it has in itself, for he is casual and disorderly in almost all of his organization projects. Jack studies at the last minute, keeps appointments late, has little sense of material value, and can seldom locate his possessions. Despite all this, Jack has had a thoroughly genuine try at being neat according to his own standards, and he has been almost religiously on time throughout the quarter. I believe Jack began to sense the fitness of things after his midwinter difficulties, and he has and is trying to be a more socially minded person. John J. Maker. When John Kennedy graduated from Choate in 1935, he stood 64th in a class of 112. But his classmates obviously saw something special in him and voted him most likely to succeed. 2 years after John's graduation, his father wrote a revealing letter to the dean of freshmen at Harvard. It was far from the last time that Joseph Kennedy Sr. used his influence to intercede on behalf of his second son. Joseph P. Kennedy, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, August 28, 1936. Delmar Layton, Dean of Freshmen, Harvard College, 9 University Hall, Cambridge 38, Massachusetts. My dear Dean Layton, thank you very much for your letter of August 14th. Jack was graduated year before last from Choate School, Wallingford, Connecticut, and I intended to enter him in the University of London as I did his older brother Joe. I took him abroad last year, but he had a recurrence of a blood condition, and I brought him home to be near his doctors. He entered Princeton University, where he stayed for about 2 months. His condition got no better, and I sent him to the Peter Bent Brigham Hospital. After a period of 2 months there, I sent him south and then to Arizona. He seems to have recovered now and is in very good health. Jack has a very brilliant mind for the things in which he is interested, but is careless and lacks application in those in which he is not interested. This is, of course, a bad fault. However, he is quite ambitious to try and do the work in 3 years. I know how the authorities feel about this, and I have my own opinion, but it is a gesture that pleases me very much because it seems to be the beginning of an awakening ambition. If possible, I should like very much to have one of your assistants confer with Jack to decide whether or not this 3-year idea is to be encouraged. He will be available at any time at Hyannisport, Massachusetts, and could come immediately to Boston if such a meeting can be arranged. I should like to have Jack do this before his advisor is appointed, if possible.